A man doomed to be alone and hated by the very people he tries to save finds someone like him. Will he be selfish and break a friend's trust, or will he accept his fate? The Los Angeles Police Department is in a car chase with 3 armed suspects. The chase is being broadcast on all media outlets, with people being warned to take caution since the suspects fire randomly at police cars on the highway. A few miles away, John Hancock is woken by a boy who tells him what's happening. Hancock is a superhuman with super strength, flight, and invulnerability. He's also a mean alcoholic who spends most of his time inebriated. Hancock grabs a whiskey bottle and flies to the location, hitting buildings and causing a major pileup when he hits a signpost. He jumps into the suspect's car, demanding they turn themselves in. The suspects laugh hysterically at him and then shoot him repeatedly. Their laughter turns into dismay when none of the bullets cause any harm to Hancock. Angry that the suspects have broken his whiskey bottle, Hancock flies the car up and drops it on a popular landmark building's needle. In the aftermath, the police department is enraged by Hancock's actions, demanding he stay away and let them do their jobs. Each time Hancock intervenes, he does more harm than good, causing the city millions in damages. Meanwhile, PR specialist Ray Embry pitches an all-heart marketing strategy to a giant pharmaceutical company. He wants them to distribute TB medicine free to those who need it. His pitch is not as successful as he hoped it would be. On the drive home, he talks to his wife Mary, saying he'll be home soon and is just stuck in traffic. Someone honks at him, and Ray sees he's parked on a railway and a train is coming. He tries moving his car, but the road is jammed, and exiting the vehicle doesn't work either. He's a few seconds from being hit when Hancock appears and throws his car on another car. Hancock lets the train hit him, causing it to derail. People step out of their vehicles and condemn Hancock, saying he could have flown up with the car instead of the unnecessary damage. They yell at him while Hancock stands there, taking it all in. Ray feels bad seeing Hancock being ganged up on like that. He intervenes and thanks Hancock for saving his life. Hancock drops Ray at home and the latter invites him in for spaghetti and meatballs. Hancock meets Mary and Ray's son Aaron. Aaron is being bullied and Hancock advises him to punch his bully on his manhood. After the meal, Ray offers to help repair Hancock's public image. That night, Mary voices her concerns regarding Hancock, but Ray is sure he's a good guy, just misunderstood. The two don't realize Hancock is listening to their conversation. Hancock shows up in Ray's neighborhood. His landing causes a crack in the road and he apologizes for it. One kid, Aaron's bully, calls him an asshole. This angers Hancock, especially when the kid keeps repeating the insult. Hancock grabs the kid and throws him up, catching him when he gets back. The boy runs off, crying to his mother. Ray says that these are some of the things Hancock needs to work on. Mary and Aaron get home, and Mary turns on the TV after seeing Hancock. There is a warrant out for Hancock's arrest. He scoffs about this, but Ray thinks it's a good idea for Hancock to turn himself in. He wants Hancock to lay low and resurface when the city needs his help. Hancock surrenders and publicly apologizes to the people, promising to do better at reforming himself. In prison, several inmates try to harass him as he's the reason most of them are locked up. This turns out to be a bad idea when Hancock retaliates amusingly. Ray visits Hancock and says that the prosecution wants to lock him up for 8 years. Hancock is enraged and wants to leave the prison, but Ray calls him a coward for giving up. He knows Hancock cares about his image, so he should trust him. Hancock retreats. Hancock starts attending AA meetings in prison even though he never says anything. He plays basketball and carves paintings in his prison cell using his fingernails. Ray often visits Hancock, teaching him how to be respectful to other people and how to sway the public mind in his favor. Ray gets Hancock a suit, saying all superheroes need a costume, to which Hancock swears he'd rather walk naked than put it on. Mary sees Ray's trust in Hancock and decides to give him a chance. She and Aaron bring Hancock homemade spaghetti and meatballs in prison. Mary warns Hancock against breaking Ray's heart. 2 weeks in, Hancock wonders whether sacrificing his freedom was worth it. At a basketball game, Hancock accidentally throws the ball outside the perimeter. He flies to get the ball while the guards call in a perimeter breach. Hancock contemplates leaving the prison but flies back inside, deciding to trust Ray's plan. Crime rates have increased now that Hancock is locked up. One day, Hancock is summoned by the chief of police to assist in an ongoing robbery. Hancock shaves his unkempt beard and wears the suit Ray gave him. The robbers have pinned an officer in the field of fire, making it impossible to rescue her. Hancock first praises the police officers, saying they're doing a good job, and then successfully rescues the trapped cop. He then breaches the building, capturing 3 robbers and leaving the leader standing. The leader and Hancock come face to face. He wants Hancock to break into the vault, help him steal $30 million, and then fly him to safety. Hancock refuses the request as he's turning over a new leaf. The leader is holding a dead man switch and threatens to release it and blow up the hostages who are wearing C4 vests. The leader says Hancock has no choice and calls him an asshole, prompting the latter to slice off his hand. Hancock hands the hand and the switch to the chief of police, and everyone is rescued with little damage done. Hancock's new persona touches everyone and he becomes quite famous. He, Ray, and Mary go to a fancy restaurant to celebrate his freedom. Ray shares how he and Mary met, while Hancock recounts the first time he knew he had powers. He'd woken up in an emergency room with a cracked skull and no recollection of his past. He figures he was just a regular guy before. What hurts him the most is why no one ever showed up to claim him. After the meal, Hancock tucks in a drunk Ray. He proceeds downstairs where Mary is washing utensils. Hancock approaches Mary and the two kiss before Mary throws Hancock out of the house. She flies towards him and promises to kill him should Ray find out she has powers. Ray wakes up to a destroyed wall in the kitchen. Mary explains that Hancock had sneezed, destroying the wall. Hancock comes in and confirms the story. While Ray is on a call, Hancock starts testing Mary's invulnerability, promising to keep disturbing her until she agrees to have a conversation. Mary agrees to meet at Hancock's trailer. That evening, Mary meets Hancock at his trailer. He wonders who they are, and Mary says they are gods and that she is much stronger than he is. Hancock wonders how they are related, and Mary says she is his sister. Hancock rebuffs that, saying that siblings don't kiss the way they did last night. He flies away to tell Ray about Mary, and Mary follows him. The two start a fight all over the city, destroying buildings and creating holes in roads. The fight escalates when Hancock calls Mary crazy. She unleashes her power, creating a large storm. Eventually, Hancock corners Mary and apologizes for what he did in the past, even though he cannot remember. Ray sees this exchange since the duo's fight brought them near his office. Ray drives home and the duo shows up. Mary explains that she and Hancock were married decades ago and have existed for over 3,000 years. There were others like them, but they paired up and died. Despite this, Ray feels betrayed as Mary always knew what was happening and could have told him. Later, Hancock goes to a store to purchase whiskey to numb his feelings. He finds the shopkeeper accosted by 2 thugs. He intervenes, but after, he feels something strange. He holds his abdomen, surprised to see blood on his hands. Hancock is rushed to the hospital in critical condition just as news of a jailbreak is broadcast. Mary visits Hancock and shares that they were built in pairs and they become mortal when they get together so they can live normal human lives. This explains why Hancock was hurt. Mary wants Hancock to leave and regain his powers, saying he was meant to save people. Meanwhile, Ray and Aaron come to the hospital to see Hancock. They see him with Mary, so they step aside to let them talk. Suddenly, Red and his team reach the hospital and shoot at Hancock. Mary sustains a gunshot wound and is grabbed by the doctors while Hancock starts dealing with the thugs. He sustains several injuries but kills most of them. Sadly, he's ambushed and shot severely by Red, who thinks his reign is over. Red is about to execute Hancock when Ray steps in and cuts off Red's other hand. He then knocks the thug out, killing him instantly just as medical personnel rush to Hancock. It's too late, as both Hancock and Mary lie lifeless. When all hope seems lost, Hancock gets up and starts walking away from Mary. The more he flies away, the better he and Mary get. Hancock finally flies far away and Mary wakes up. A month later, Ray and Mary have reconciled and are enjoying a night walk with Aaron. Ray gets a call from Hancock, who has carved an all-heart symbol on the moon, saying Ray will change the world. Hancock then flies off to save the world, laughing when a thug calls him an asshole.